In the last video, the circle alignment originating in Algiers was tracked from Inukjuak on the Hudson Bay over the Ungava Peninsula of northern Quebec across the Hudson Strait to Baffin Island in the Canadian territory of Nunavut, and from there across the Davis Strait of the Labrador Sea into Greenland, on through to Tasiiluq on Greenland's east coast. My name is Michelle Gibson. In this video, I am picking up the alignment in Olafsvik, a township in western Iceland on the Snaefellsnes Peninsula, located northeast of the Snaefellsnes National Park, the first national park established in Iceland. And the national park is named for its famous ice-covered stratovolcano and glacier, said to be one of the 7 great energy centers of the Earth, and which was the entrance to the inner Earth in Jules Verne's classic 1864 novel, Journey to the Center of the Earth. In the novel, German adventurers came to the surface of the Earth again at the Stromboli volcano off the north coast of Sicily. I wonder how Verne came up with that unusual storyline. Back to Olafsvik, a small township with a population of around 1,000 people. It is described as a fishing village. Its shaped harbor on Iceland's west coast in the North Atlantic Ocean on the top left is exactly like shaped harbors found around the world, like Pearl Harbor on Oahu in the Hawaiian Islands in the Pacific Ocean on the bottom left, at Funchal, the largest city of the Portuguese Madeira Islands located in the Atlantic Ocean southwest of Portugal, and west of Morocco on the top right, and the harbor at Chichijima in Japan's Bonin Islands in the Pacific Ocean, south of Japan's main islands on the bottom right. Interesting to note the presence of these massive stones on the Olafsvik waterfront, and what looks to be a canal lined on either side with large stones. All of these stones shown had the angles and edges of having been worked and shaped in some fashion. These are the Bayerfoss or Bridal Veil Falls near Olafsvik on the top left, compared with the Bridal Veil Falls in Provo Canyon in Utah on the top right, and Bridal Veil Falls in the Columbia River Gorge in Oregon on the bottom, to show a few of many examples with the same name and a similar looking appearance. Before leaving the Snaefellsnes Peninsula, there are 2 places in Arnarstapi on the southern coast of the peninsula that I would like to show you. The first is this pyramidal mountain in the background, with the large rock formations on the shore in the foreground, which are similar in appearance to the 12 Apostles, located off the shore of Port Campbell in the Victoria State of Australia. The other place in Arnarstapi is Gotklator, or Arch Rock, which is similar to the Hollow Rock at Grand Portage Island, off the coast of northern Minnesota in Lake Superior. Next on the alignment, we come to a place called Kirkjufell Mountain in Grundarfjörður, Iceland. Kirkjufell, or Church Mountain, is considered to be the most photographed mountain in Iceland, and was a filming location for the Game of Thrones in seasons 6 and 7. I found this diagram of the geologic strata of Mount Kirkjufell. It is noteworthy to me that the pink layers of the Quaternary warm period lava look just like brick and block masonry. It reminded me of this Phillips County, Kansas geologic survey that I found when I was first figuring things out by looking at rock formations state by state, where the Upper Cretaceous period, especially in this diagram, looks like masonry. Let me introduce you to the Monument Rocks, also called Chalk Pyramids, in Oakley, Kansas, if you didn't know about them. I have come to the conclusion that modern geologists are actually studying ancient masonry. Next, the alignment passes over the Hekla Volcano. Hekla sits on at least one other planetary alignment. It is also on the Merida Circle alignment. Hekla is what is called a stratovolcano, like Snaefellsnes back on the Snaefellsnes Peninsula, and is one of the most active in Iceland. The definition of a stratovolcano is a conical volcano built up by many layers of hardened lava, tephra, pumice, and ash. This is an example of tephra, which is called a fragmental material produced by a volcanic eruption, regardless of fragment size or composition. I wonder what that is telling, or not telling, us. Hekla is a legendary gate of hell in medieval literature. I have found that these alignments approximate the edges of tectonic plates, as evidenced by volcanic and earthquake activity. Over 20 eruptions are said to have occurred since 840 AD. It was last active from February 26 to March 8 in 2000. One more subject before I continue on the alignment. Iceland is a well-known hotspot, as it is on the boundary between the North American plate and the Eurasian plate, and as such it is well known for its hot springs. Here is an example of an Icelandic hot spring that has several of the signature features of the advanced ancient civilization, all in one spot. Number 1, hot springs, and springs of all kinds, are found all over the planetary alignments. Number 2, stone workmanship. Number 3, the perfect circle where the springs are located. And number 4, earthworks. Leaving Iceland, the alignment crosses between the North Atlantic Ocean and the Norwegian Sea to the Faroe Islands. Like Greenland, these islands are an autonomous country of the Kingdom of Denmark and home to approximately 50,000 people. Like the Hekla Volcano, the Faroe Islands are situated on more than one planetary alignment. If you look up the history of these islands, it is quite vague, with references to Saint Brendan, a seafaring monk in the 6th century who described an island of sheep and a paradise of birds. All of this for some sheep and some birds. And Faroe, spelled F-A-R-O-E, sounds phonetically like what word? The alignment next comes to the Hebrides Islands of Scotland, which consist of the Outer Hebrides, depicted in orange on this map, and the Inner Hebrides in pink. The Callanish standing stones on the west side of the Isle of Lewis and the Outer Hebrides are ancient, and said to have been erected as far back as 3,400 years ago, in the Neolithic era between 4,000 and 2,500 years BC. The Callanish stones have a circle of 13 stones, with a monolith near the middle of the circle, oriented to the north and south, and 5 rows of stones connecting to the stone circle. It is believed to have had an astronomical function associated with lunar cycles, as well as a sacred temple function. The Isle of Skye is the largest and northernmost of the major islands in the Inner Hebrides, dominated from its center by the Quillan Mountains, shown here. This is Fingal's Cave on the island of Staffa in the Inner Hebrides, which is known for its natural acoustics. It is formed by hexagonally jointed basalt columns. As a matter of fact, the German composer Felix Mendelssohn is said to have visited in 1826 and afterwards composed his opus number 26, called the Hebrides, also known as the Fingal's Cave Overture. The French author Jules Verne was also a visitor to Fingal's Cave. Verne made an appearance at the beginning of this video at the Icelandic volcano Snaefellsnes, the entrance to inner Earth, in his classic novel, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Apparently, he also mentions Fingal's Cave in this novel, as well as in 2 other books, The Mysterious Island and The Green Ray. I'm still not sure what he was actually trying to tell us. Here's a comparison of bridges. First on the Isle of Skye in the Inner Hebrides, the Burnside Bridge in Antietam, Maryland, which was the site of a major Civil War battle in 1862, and this old bridge in Ethiopia. There's much more here. There's always more everywhere. But I will end this video here and pick up the alignment in Wicklow, Scotland in the next video.